Hello, how are you? My name is Joa Rivas, and I am excited to talk to you today about something that is very close to me. I am the host of the podcast Back into Alignment, and I have been working for 4 years in this podcast as a way for me to spread the voice of posture. And Back into Alignment has been actually helping me to ask questions to healthcare professionals from all over the world. And I have learned so much. And I'm actually today excited to be able to share with you information about posture awareness and confidence through the microphone. And why not? You are a podcaster. I'm sure you are spending many hours setting up, writing, and also delivering all these podcasts to your audience. And we need to take care of our bodies, especially because it's our main tool, and beside our voice for sure, to be able to express ourselves. And somebody like me coming with scoliosis and back pain issues since I was 15 years old, I understand the value of improving the posture, especially when you're working sitting for long hours. Today I'm here in one of the studios that I record my podcast, and I'm seated, but I'm normally in different positions. Sometimes I have a standing desk for my podcast where I can actually move and feel comfortable to be standing. Sometimes I'm seated like today, and sometimes I am even in a stretch position that will help me to mobilize my body. Today, I wanted to help you to understand and learn how to prevent back pain by improving your posture awareness as a podcaster. Very important for you to reduce any type of difficulty on the spine, especially if you are experiencing lower back pain or neck pain. It's actually really interesting what we are going to learn today. There is actually a very important topic that I would love to share is about the ultimate connector between our brain and our body, that is our spinal cord. Something that I learned through the pandemic, especially being static for so long. All of us have been transferring from being working at the offices to be working from home. Our places were not designed to work, and a lot of people start developing postural problems. And that's why I came back into alignment and learned so much about aspects that I never considered. I am a yoga and Pilates teacher, but I actually always see the body working from the retraction of the scapula, the hip activation. But then through the pandemic, I started asking more questions about what happened with the brain when we have tension in our neck, and what happened to our breath work when we actually not engage our rib cage properly because we cannot properly rotate. So there are so many factors and conditions that are actually connected to the spine and also to the atlas of the body, which the atlas is actually the neck. The neck is a very crucial area in our body. It's like a bridge between our brain and our spine. And when we do have neck pain, we are actually having a lot of restrictions on rotations in our neck, will be actually affecting your vagus nerve, which probably you have heard about the vagus nerve. Something that I have interviewed before in my podcast are doctors talking about the vagus nerve and how the vagus nerve has been irritated, and also reducing the flow on this area that is actually starting on the base of the skull and going down to the gut, and this can affect you. So today, before I continue sharing with you all this information, I wanted to squeeze in the most important tips for you to take care of the spine and your posture while you are designing, preparing, and delivering your podcast. So let's start with the very basic strategy that I apply as a podcaster. The first one is to set a particular time where you are going to be seated. I suggest you to have two desks, one that is standing and one that is actually seated. Especially if you have long podcasts, I'm not sure exactly what format you're using, but if you're using a long format of more than 30 minutes, I will suggest you to have an standing desk where you can actually transfer your body weight and you can actually change the positions constantly. You can have those adjustable desks where you can actually bring them on a standing position or seated position. That's one of the very first strategies that I always suggest to my clients and the people that are actually asking me about posture. The second strategy that I use is actually to create an environment that is actually at my best, especially having water that is accessible to me, making sure that you have proper water. The water intake, it depends of your body weight, right? Your total body weight. The rule of thumb is basically approximately between 2 to 3 liters of water. That's an average of water that you should be taking. And of course, because you're taking the water, then you're going to the washroom. So that's going to make you move, right? You just want to keep your body moving. Something that I've been learning by asking questions is always motion is lotion. It's what all doctors are telling me always, that we are trying to always mobilize our body to maintain the flow of blood, and also to reduce cramps and to stimulate pliability on our joints. So in this, water is essential in our condition. So make sure that you have in your environment water to reach. I also will suggest you to have an awareness of the spine by becoming aware of your breath. Very important that the people that you are actually delivering, especially your audience, are going to not only listen from the message, but they also will feel from the tonality in your voice. And it's important to speak slower. For me, as a Latina, it's been always a challenge to speak slower, because we tend to speak really fast back home. And I'm always reminding myself to take deep breath as I am talking to my audience, which will actually give to my audience the sense of confidence that I'm actually saying a message that I'm consciously thinking. And the next one is to calm down my nerve system. So if I'm actually speaking and I'm actually breathing properly, I'm actually allowing my brain to formulate the message with a little bit more of flow, and instead of like just dropping all the information. So it's something that has helped me a lot to deliver better, is to slow down, allowing me to have pauses. And even if I have an interview with someone, it will allow me to rethink about the way as I'm going to ask a question. If I'm going to engage with a conversation, will also help me. So this is actually really important for posture awareness, is breath work. And right away from this opportunity that I have with you to share about the posture strategies to maintain our spine healthy, I will suggest you to practice the box breath. Box breath is basically a breath that it is like you are in a box and you're just following the corners, kind of, and you take 4 seconds to go from one corner to another corner. So as a yoga teacher, I always invite people to just close the eyes and think about a box, and every corner from the trajectory from one point to another is about 4 seconds. So we become aware of nasal breathing by simply breathing through the nostrils, breathing in for 4 seconds. We pause for 4 seconds. Breathing out for 4 seconds through the nose, through the mouth. And pause for 4 seconds. And that's pretty much the box breath. If you actually got to practice this box breath, you will be able to slow down your nerve system. You will be able to be more present. And the interviewer, if you actually doing interviews like I do, is going to feel more comfortable. They will feel they have been heard, and you will be able to develop a better conversation, and you will be able to show a little bit more confidence when you're actually delivering a message. So that's one of the biggest strategies for me, is to become aware of the breath. And it's actually one of the ways for us to improve our gut health. This information has been taken through doctors that have been teaching me the importance of breathing and the gut health related to the bacteria that is developing in our bodies, and how nasal breathing actually It slows down our nerve system and also our parasympathetic, and this is one of the most important crucial parts of improving our digestion and our recovery through breath work. And as you know, it's been an epidemic to be having mental health problems in the last years, especially after the pandemic. And then having a conscious breathing will also help you to be more at your best in all levels. The last strategy I wanted to share with you today is actually about stretching. I truly believe stretching is very important. And something that you can start doing today is to do a neck stretch. Neck stretch is simply just bringing the ear to the same shoulder. You can do just like side to side neck stretch. When you do neck stretch, I will suggest you to hold the tension, release the tension about 2 minutes at least. Of course, you're not going to be doing a podcast and being stretched when you're interviewing somebody, but I will suggest you to get ready before the podcast and do a stretch of about 2 to 3 minutes. This is a very practical strategy. You can just start applying from now. It doesn't require much than your own willingness to do it. So I would say about 2 to 3 minutes, hold the ear on the same shoulder, and same thing on the other side. I will also do side rotations as actually really good ways to release the tension around our shoulder blades, around our neck, and also it will be able for you to have a better posture when you're seated. So if you are seated during your podcast, I will also remind you to make sure that your feet are properly set on the floor. Try to avoid to cross your legs so you don't cut the circulation on your legs. And also the position of your arms. As you notice, as I'm talking here with you, I'm in a desk where I'm actually supporting my arms. They're not hanging, they're just supported in the desk. So the 3 points that you want to make sure that you have in proper alignment, again, like my podcast Back into Alignment, is to have 3 points of alignment. The first one is that the eyes have to be in the level of the screen. So make sure that you are not looking too high or too low, so you don't produce a forward head posture problem that is happening to have the forward head posture. The second point of alignment is actually your arms, making sure your elbows are actually supported in the desk or where you are seated. Your elbows and your hands are supported and they're not just hanging. And then number 3 is that your feet are planted on the floor. They're not crossing legs, they're just planted. They're not hanging on the air. Like on those high stools, make sure that you have a nice, proper ergonomic chair, especially if you are experiencing scoliosis, lordosis, kyphosis, sciatica, or any type of health condition on the spine. I will definitely put effort to invest in a proper chair. And I hope all these tips help you to improve your posture and to also deliver your message even better than before. I truly believe on a third-party professional to help you to get better. I gave you some of the tips that you can do by yourself, but I always go for my community and see who can help me to become more aware of my posture. It's been a long journey for me, having over 10 years of chronic back pain and having osteoarthritis and so many issues. I'm constantly asking for help. So basically, going for a massage, especially if it's a lymphatic massage, are also very beneficial. I will also apply heat when it's possible. Heat will help you if you have a heated pad. I actually found an electric heated pad, which is awesome. You can just take it with you, and it can be helping you to reduce the pain on the body. I will also, when I can, I do stretches at home, especially before sleep, to be able to mobilize the hips. And the last one is to practice this constantly, knowing that even if you get better, it's all about consistency. So whatever it works for you, it is going to work from the practice and repetition. So I really hope that you got to get some of the notes of what to do to improve your posture. And I am here to help you. And I'm here also to be inspired by you. I'm actually following so many people from this platform, and I'm so inspired by what you have done. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this short talk about posture and podcasting. Have a beautiful day, and remember that together we are stronger.